rise for a pledge to the flag. Remain standing for a moment of silence for all military personnel serving here and abroad and those suffering from the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
Notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger published a notice on December 10, 2021. It is posted on the municipal bulletin board and should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Spiller.
Here.
Councilman Ficarra.
Here.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilman Patel.
Here.
Councilman Anderson. Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
President Bauer.
Here.
Councilman Small.
Here.
And Councilwoman McCullough.
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from January 18th, 2022?
Motion.
Motion. Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Beginning with second reading ordinances this evening, we will take letter A first, which is an ordinance waiving construction permit fees related to Woodbridge Township Affordable Housing Trust Housing Rehabilitation Program. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be opened?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter A only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter B is also a second reading ordinance, an ordinance authorizing and directing that Woodbridge Township enter into a lease agreement with Local 397 regarding parking at 155 Avenel Street. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be opened?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The ordinance, public hearing on ordinance B is now open.
Good evening, Tom Maris, Sports, New Jersey. For that ordinance, can you explain the nature of it, at what cost, and what's the duration of that lease agreement?
So it's an overflow parking for the theater, the APAC Center, and it's a lease agreement for $500 a month. Do we have a term limit on that?
A year.
1 year.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions on letter B? There are no other comments or questions. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter C is an ordinance amending Chapter 22 entitled Flood Damage Prevention. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter C.
Again, Tom Maris, Sports, New Jersey, and also like to get an explanation as to what Chapter 22 does, what specific areas in the township does it cover? Is it all inclusive for the entire township? And is there any monetary cost attached to it?
Mayor?
So this is a floodplains agreement for folks that have flood insurance. We come in compliance with the state. This is a revision for that ordinance that was passed previously. The state changed their verbiage and some of their explanations, so we had to come in line with them. So that's what this is, just a revision to a existing ordinance.
Excuse me, you said flood insurance. Does that protect the township, or does it protect the
So
residents?
flood insurance does a rating. It's for everyone that's in a flood zone for Woodbridge Township. So flood insurance does a rating. We have a floodplains manager that does that helps with that rating, and it changes from time to time with the state, and we have to be in compliance with that. It also gives residents a discount for their insurance.
That's what I was going to ask. Hopefully it's going to bring your cost down.
They pay much less, Tom.
Great, thank you.
Any other comments on letter C?
John with Woodbridge. That flood
insurance and flood area that's at the flood zone, it's kind of confusing. I believe some of those areas even brings as far as the Amboy Avenue over here. And I understand people, if they're buying or selling the houses, they have a little problem to prove if they're under the flood zone or not flood zone. Could it be more clear made where exactly is the borderline of the flood zone and not flood zone? Because some of the maps are kind of all over the township.
There's a map of all the flood zone in town, Mr. Tarek. We don't have it with us, but there's several hundred homes in a flood zone. All this does is clean up, as Mr. Simalukas said, clean up the language in our ordinance to make sure we're still in compliance with the new state laws. Because of the work that the township did, in particular Tom Flynn, who's our certified floodplain manager, he got us, I believe it's a CS5, which every level you go down, your residents save more. And he did an amazing job getting us from like an 8 or a 9 down to a 5. And he still worked, I'm sorry?
25%.
25% reduction in flood insurance. All this stuff is just technical, changing the verbiage of our ordinance because the state changed their law. We have to change some words.
That makes sense. But again, it could be more clear when the people go for the paperwork and they say, well, you're under the flood zone. And is there any way that they could be, the attorneys would know about it and everybody would know about it?
All of our flood zone maps are on our website, and the attorneys have access to it when they have a client that's buying or selling a house in a flood zone.
Thank you. Good.
Council President, I live in a flood zone, Mr. Vitarik, and I gotta say that we constantly get literature and mail from the township every time there's a change in the flood area or the rating has changed. So I can attest to the fact that the residents are being informed every time there's a change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments on letter C? Hearing no other comments, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll now take letters D and E as first reading ordinances. Can I get a motion that the ordinance be passed on first reading? Motion to home distributed on February 4th, 2022, with notice of public hearing to be held on February 15th, 2022 at 6 p.m.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And you have 12 items before your resolutions this evening by consent. Can I get a motion to approve the 12?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or
Mr.
comments?
Bishop, I'll be abstaining from number 12.
Any other comments, please? No other comments? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
All right, at this time, we'll go to the public portion of our meeting. Please state your name, part of the township you are from. We have a one-time 5-minute time period. All video taking must be taken within a designated area in the rear of the room, and there will be no shouting out from your seats. Please respect each other, and please make sure all signs or posters do not block walkway aisles. Thank you.
Anybody this evening have any comment? Hearing no comment, can I get a motion at the...
Good evening. Case on a little, once again. It's disheartening and disgusting that this town lacks integrity. From the mayor's office to the governing body. You lack a heart, you lack integrity, you lack ethics, you lack morals, and you lack values. You don't want to be told, yeah, you're uncomfortable, shaking out your seats. Good. Because when public want change, they're not coming here to make you comfortable. They're coming here to make you uncomfortable. So you can stick to the needs, wants, wishes, and the hopes for the people to legislate on their best interests and to do what you were elected to do, well, selected to do. Because that's what it is, selections here. I'm gonna select you to the council so you can make sure that you stick to my agenda. And if you do, you're out of here. You lose your job at the county, you lose your job at the city, your family lose their jobs, your son loses his job at the police department, all of you. That's how the game is, same establishment playbook that you know all very well, that you profit and benefit from. And you continue to fail the community who's hurting and suffering the most. With your silence. Your silence is violence. Your complacency is violence. And blood is on your hands, from the past and from the current. Because you're not remedying anything. You're not remedying pain or trauma. And pending ones that's happening right now. Because you sit there, and again, you ignore the community who's hurting and suffering the most. You did not once denounce the Proud Boys' presence at that previous meeting, because maybe many of you are Proud Boys, part-time or full-time, or undercover. But that is a hate group. It's disgusting how you sit there and don't say nothing. Not a damn word. When they came here and they made threats, they threw up the hate symbols and their signs, white power, and yet you got the audacity to have Black History Month quotes and stuff out in the hallway right now. The movement for Black Lives is not a seasonal thing, it's not a monthly thing. It's a lifetime thing as long as us two is directly impacted. And today's traumas and suffering is hurting right now. So you got that out there posted for what? Oh, Woodbridge Township celebrated Black History Month. Yeah. No, the hell you don't. You do not. Because if you did, you would have acted with urgency and treated things like that with the emergency that it is. It's disgusting. And it's shameful. Absolutely shameful. That's symbolism and it means nothing until you put it into policy and you uplift the voices of the unheard and you give the unheard voices and you include them in the decision-making process. No, I don't yield back. Do better or resign now.
Thank you. Any other comments this evening from the public?
Again, John Untitled Woodbridge. A couple of things. We've been hearing this for many, many years. And the mayor says that we are best town around. And I believe that we are. But look who's around us, who's next to us. Certain towns are, but certain people not. And people are still complaining. I just wonder where those people came from. What better towns did they come to than Woodbridge? And again, even on the TV, you can see Middlesex County, Middlesex County, Middlesex County. If those people don't agree the way the citizens of this town are, and I'm not talking to all political staff, but citizens, maybe they should look into it, which we all did, coming from foreign countries or from different states or towns. We came and looked at it before we moved here. But again, I guess we all try to have our way, our culture, whatever you want to call religion. But as a guest, or whatever you want to call us, we are new in this town. Myself, I'm fortunate to have properties all over the states here and there. You don't go there and charge the way they charge the course, the way they run the town. And personally, I've been asked more than once, why don't get intervene or interfere with the way they run the towns? And I said, if I didn't like the way you run it, I wouldn't come here. But again, please, it's not Woodbridge. It takes time. Let it be. You might change political staff. Politicians will not change the people. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments this evening from the public?
Hello, Mr. President. Ken Gardner. I'm just a Woodbridge guy, 101 Scoter Avenue. And just based on the previous gentleman's comments, I just want to say Woodbridge is a great town. I disagree, but each of you on the council have contributed to the town and have done some great things, and for the mayor as well. I disagree on some points, but this administration and previous have done great things for our town. We really have a great town. Not to say that we don't have to work at things, and racial injustice and matters have to be resolved, but Woodbridge is still a great town. So I know our residents know it, but sometimes people from out of town are watching these shows on our TV 35, and they need to know that even though we disagree, it's still a great town. Mr. President, I want to talk tonight about fairness a little bit in treatment, in the way people are treated at the meetings, myself included, and in our taxes and fees. First, I had been saying and reminding people that the fire commissioner's election is February 19th. You do not get a sample ballot in the mail. You will get a mail-in ballot, but not a sample ballot, so not everybody gets some notice of the election. In our fire district here in Woodbridge proper, if you live in Woodbridge, you vote at the Woodbridge Firehouse. If you live in Seawarren, you vote at the Seawarren Library on West Avenue from 2 until 9 p.m. on Saturday, February 19th. I've been asking for fairness in treatment of the payment of fees that come from these pilot programs to the fire district, and would ask again that the mayor consider and the council consider not making the fire commissioners or the board of ed have to come here and ask for money or make their case, that they get the same fair portion that they would from the tax bill. You know, in our fire district in particular, I've served as chief. I was commissioner for 8 years. I've been off for a few years, went off for health reasons. Thank God, 5 surgeries later, I'm put back together and back in action. But the time I was away, the board added administrative positions that total somewhere over $450,000. These positions are firefighters, but they're 99% of their job is administrative. And they're really more in line with like a fire department that Edison has, a township-wide fire department. So I think those salaries should be included in these pilot programs, and that, you know, we get the fire district gets the money back, because I think the taxpayers in the fire district are taking on an unfair burden. I brought up the issue. I had talked at the commissioners' meeting, the budget hearing. The mayor had, after I was done speaking, I don't think it's really fair, maybe in your procedures, you know, if my name is mentioned, I think I should be able to respond. I did follow the procedures. When my 5 minutes were up, I sat down, but I think the mayor took a cheap shot at me afterwards. I went to the budget hearing. I asked the fire commissioners how many firefighters, new firefighters, are in the line item for the salaries. The mayor had said at the meeting that they're going to hire 4, yet at that commissioners meeting, they told me that there were 8 firefighters in that line item. There's other changes that have come up that the mayor brought up in the department, but some of the other line items haven't been changed. So we need to take a look there, but getting those fees from the pilot programs would be helpful. I didn't mislead anybody. I said over the next few years, because of all the building, we're most likely going to be adding additional firefighters. I still believe that is the case. Just looking at this building across the street, as it was going up, firefighters, not just our district, but across the town, I'm sure we're looking at it, and we've already altered our plans and are reviewing how we will respond to those units with a dual response. Another thing that happened was when our district increased these administrative salaries, those people took some of the responsibilities and jobs that the commissioners are doing. They're doing the job of the commissioner. So yet the commissioners then hired a consultant for $40,000 to come in, and a consultant from Ohio. Now, we've got a lot of career personnel, we've got a lot of volunteers, we've got a lot of ex-chiefs, a lot of people who've served. Instead of wasting $40,000 on a consultant, I really think we should have just handled all this stuff in-house. If we're promoting people to be career fire chiefs, deputy chiefs, captains, battalion chiefs. We still have a volunteer chief and officers. Those people are all willing to make the decisions, of course, with the input from the public. At the last meeting as well, we had Commissioner Minkler's here again tonight. He was here. Commissioner Howell was here. Those
Thank you,
people
Mr.
didn't
Gardner.
speak.
5 minutes
The
is
mayor
out.
spoke, and, I think that, that's really something that the fire commissioners could have addressed.
Thank you. I'd like to make a comment on that. Myself being a volunteer in the past probably 5 years, volunteerism in the fire service has to go down, as the Board of Fire Commissioners have to provide a service to their taxpayers. So the only way they can do it is actually hire more firefighters.
I agree.
I think with the new building codes and construction, fire prevention is very good. We have less fires. Like I said, we're not hiring because we're building, we're hiring because we don't have people to volunteer to supplement when there's a fire call.
Well, I think it's a combination.
Thank you.
Council President?
Yes.
I would like to respond. First of all, I have had many discussions with the commissioners of the Woodbridge Fire Department, with Commissioner Kenny and Commissioner Minkler in particular. They have not, there's not been a single dollar collected from pilots downtown yet. So that is why we haven't shared any money yet, because we haven't received any money yet. We shared with Port Reading, we shared with Avenel, we shared with Island, because we have active pilots that are paying us money. None of the downtown projects have tenants yet, except for Avenue and Green, which has a couple floors, majority rented, but they pay by the quarter. We haven't collected a dollar yet, so it's hard to share money with somebody when you don't have any money. I never commented on how many firemen they were hiring. All I said was that I spoke to the president of the board, who said that he was asked directly by Mr. Gardner, trying to get a yes answer, are we hiring more fires because of the development? The answer was no. Whether it's 4, whether it's 8, I don't care. The answer was no. He was told no, despite the fact that he wanted to say yes. And he came here at the last meeting. You can't talk from your seat. And he came here at the last meeting, and he said he was told by Mr. Kenny that that was the answer. So there was not, as you just said, Mr. Kenny said to me, they're hiring more firefighters because they don't have the volunteers that they always had, and they need more paid firefighters. We are happy to work with them. They have the referendum that passed, and they have a big several million-dollar project coming up, and they've asked us if we're willing to share in that. As I said last meeting, we don't pay operating costs from pilot monies. We never will. We'll pay capital costs. We'll pay things that are real, things, structures, vehicles, trucks, buildings, things that are capital in nature. We will help fire companies with, and we have helped almost every fire company in town with something from our pilots. We're not shy about that. We're very generous with that. We have a plan to help Woodbridge. We just can't do it yet because we don't have the money. But I can assure you, Bob Minkler and Jack Kenny have been in constant contact with me about how we can help, and we will help. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Robert Ringler, 538 Mayorford Avenue. I am a fire commissioner in Fire District Number 1. I'm up for re-election. We do have administration, and we have administration because our department is growing. And we felt as though that was the best way to oversee our department. So yes, we do have administration. Are we looking to put on some more career firefighters? Yes, we are. Unfortunately, the volunteers, and it's nothing against the volunteers, it's just society today. Nobody wants to volunteer. I work in the fire academy, and I see it at night. We used to have 3 fire ones at night. In the spring and the fall, we're down to 2. We used to have 25 in each class. We're down to 15 and 20. Nobody wants to volunteer. So the Board of Fire Commissioners is forced to hire and put people on so we can have adequate coverage in the town. We're doing everything we can. We hired a company, or we authorized the volunteer chief to do a recruitment, and we authorized the payment of that. We're trying everything we can. We understand that we need the volunteers, but right now, unfortunately, we're not the only one in that position. So we are trying our best to do what we can do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments this evening from the public?
Strawberry Hill Avenue. I'm here tonight. First of all, let me start by saying I'm a little ashamed. I feel bad. I've been out of it for about a month due to a minor medical condition. I haven't been able to keep up with things, so I was unaware of the passing of Councilwoman Dunn, and allow me to extend my condolences to the council and to her family. It's shocking to me tonight that I didn't know. I really didn't. So I'm sorry about that. The other thing I would like to say is Saturday we had a heck of a snowstorm, as you know. And I would like to thank Public Works because about 1 o'clock, 1:30 that afternoon, while this old goat was trying to dig out, a couple of guys in pickup trucks in the township with plows showed up in my neighborhood. And they did one heck of a job for the residents of the mountain. Now, you Woodbridge Flatlanders don't know what it's like being a mountaineer up there on Strawberry Hill, do they, Greg? Wintering up there is a different lifestyle. In the summertime, we just watch the water go down to Fulton Street, but in the winter, we're stuck with it. It gets hard. And I really want to thank Public Works. I think one of the fellows was driving a black pickup. I think, please forgive me, I think his name was either Kevin or Juan. I'm sorry, I talked to a lot of people during the day. But I want to thank Public Works for that. On a more serious note, for 2 years I've had people say to me, what's going to happen? What's going to be done? Will we ever get justice? I'm a senior. And to many people, the younger generation would want to see us put out on an ice floe at 55. But the reality of the situation is I'm 72 and I work full time. And my wife is 72 and she works. Because this is New Jersey and your funeral and your retirement party are held on the same night. So, very basically, what they're asking and what we're seeing is 8,000 seniors were slaughtered by this governor's decision. They were locked in nursing homes and left to die. When the nursing homes told them they had absolutely no way of treating COVID patients on ventilators, etc. So the seniors are asking me, will they ever get justice? Yes, they saw the $53 million settlement by Murphy to the 100 and some odd families of the VA. But what about the other 7,800 and some? Will Murphy do this again? Will Murphy, who has absolutely no medical training, direct our doctors on what they can treat us with? This guy's a bond job. He barely knows how to put on a Band-Aid. How can he tell a doctor what he can treat their patients with? Medicine that could have saved lives was withheld here in New Jersey. I was sick for 4 weeks because primary care doctors are hiding under their beds and don't want to take care of patients. It's gotten ridiculous. There are medications that are coming out now that are proven from 2 years ago could have saved lives, but they were illegal in New Jersey. Doctors couldn't prescribe them. What happened to the right to try? What happened to that? So, the seniors that have spoken to me, and this senior, and my wife, and other seniors, we want to know whether this council, in its inimitable wisdom, will request the police department to investigate Governor Murphy whether or not he committed mass murder of 8,000 defenseless seniors. Now, anybody knows that you put somebody sick in a rehab in a nursing home. Now, let me explain something to you. A rehab could have a 30-year-old in. You put somebody with a cold or a flu in a nursing home in a rehab, it'll go through that building like a hot knife through butter. And everybody knows it. Now, I'm asking this council, what are you going to do about that? I'm leaving it with you. You need to discuss it with the mayor, the administration. Think about it, please. This governor needs to be reprimanded for this. I really didn't want to go into that, but too many people are bothering me about it. And I see a lot of folks on the street. Now, I'm not blaming anybody here. I'm really not. We're not blaming anyone here. Thank you
for your time. Thank you. Are there any other comments or statements from the public?
Good evening, Tom Maris, Worcester, New Jersey. I'd like to start off by welcoming our new council member, Sharon McCullough, if I'm saying that correctly. And in fact, through the chair, I have a couple of questions for the new councilwoman, and that is she in concert with Mayor McCormick in endorsing one or more of the candidates for the District 1 Fire Commission? And if so, what candidate or candidates is she endorsing? Or she will remain neutral on that? Also, is the council lady all familiar with the development that's going on in the First Ward, specifically the new proposed 5-story parking garage off the North James Street, and more importantly, the 94 apartment units, which will be tax abated, that will go directly across from the new Ross Street School, which by any account is the crown jewel of the school system, but it's certainly going to degrade that area, add to traffic, and perhaps even to the safety and welfare of the teachers and students. And I'd like to know her comments on what's going on in that part of town, if she is familiar with it, and how she feels about that project going forward, and perhaps, as I said, jeopardizing the safety of the students and the teachers in that area, as well as the residents. And how does it really benefit the rest of the taxpayers throughout the community? My next question is for the administration. Recently, there was a mailing that went out about tax requirements and had to automatically sign up. But I noticed in there were flyers that were going out. One of the sides of the flyer is for the Avenel Arts. I'd like to know if they paid for their portion of that, and are they also contributing to the expense of the mailing, since you're using, the administration is using, that is, government materials to pay for materials and expensing for the mailing of that, which is very expensive at $53. If that's going out to every resident in the community, that's got to be quite a tax bill. So I'd like to know how that's being accounted for, is it being tracked, and how are they reimbursing, they being the Avenel Arts Performing Arts, which is a separate corporation, as we know, reimbursing the taxpayers for that. Thirdly, the mayor did touch upon the fact that some of these new buildings going up, which are tax abated, have yet to render anything to the township coffers. But as we all know, there are thousands of other apartments that are up around the township that are also tax abated. Given that, since that money is coming in, unless there's a problem with it that we don't know about, with the millions that we've heard are coming into the coffers, why are people complaining about the new tax increases in the bills that they're receiving? I thought all of this would help reduce tax bills, burdens on citizens. Please explain.
Well, let's start with the APAC issue first.
There's a bulk mailing, no matter how much we put in, as long as it's under a certain weight, we don't pay anymore, so we do not get reimbursed by the Avenel Performing Arts Center.
Does that answer your question, Mr. Mayor?
And we do that for a lot of different operations in the township to
I want to know if
publicize.
that's legal, whether they claim it's both, but that's still private enterprise being used to send government funds sending out private mail. And are they paying for their share of the advertisement? There's a printing that's done. Part of it is specifically for the Avenel Arts. The other side is for other township-owned entities, which fall into the club and also the community center. One can argue, yes, that's township property and can go out on this bulk mailings, but not private. Why shouldn't any citizen or organization be able to say, we'll throw mine in there as well? I'd like to know if that's legal. If not, I'll over it, and then we can take it to the courts if necessary.
Well, this is an entity that is related to the township. It's not run by the township. It's related to the township. We own the land. We own the building. Sorry, we don't own the land. We own the building. We are the landlord, and we help them out whenever we can. They're a nonprofit entity. They're not for profit.
That's quite a different answer than what you just said, but we'll check into it. I will submit it over, and I want to know what those costs are and whether they're paying their fair share. Again, I would go to the next questions that I had asked for the councilwoman to give her comments on the North James Street development, as well as the Ross Street School, getting apartments right across from it.
Mr. Maris, Councilwoman McCullough, we're recusing herself from any voting on any redevelopment, since she is a business owner in the downtown and would benefit from anything she would vote on. She wasn't part of the council. I'm sure she's taking in everything right now, absorbing her new position. And like I said, at this time, any further development that will go in front of us, she will not vote on.
Well, I don't think it's up for a vote. I'm asking her opinion as a resident and as a business owner and as a member of this council, what her views are about further development.
Unfortunately, your time is up at this time.
Okay, well, we'll leave that question for
Yes.
next time, but thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
Good evening, James Dabrowski, Woodbridge Proper. At our January 4th council meeting, I had brought with me the same sign I have with me tonight, which simply reads, "Hate has no home here." This powerful phrase was coined by a third-grade student at Peterson Elementary School in Chicago. A local designer then created the artwork and translated the statement into multiple languages. When the designated terrorist hate group, the Proud Boys, began targeting our community, shockingly showing up at our Woodbridge Board of Education meetings, VOE candidate Amber Jarrett initiated an anti-racist campaign selling these signs, with the proceeds being donated to provide financial assistance to district high school students wishing to take more than one AP exam. Amber has since raised $750 and donated an additional $250 out of her own pocket to achieve the goal she had set of $1,000 for our students. She still has signs for sale if anyone is interested, so please don't hesitate to reach out to Amber, as it's for the vital cause of standing united against the Proud Boys and helping our kids. Anyway, at our January 4th meeting, I had once again asked our Woodbridge mayor and his council to denounce the Proud Boys, and they once again refused. However, they did not refuse Proud Boys supporter Tom Maris's request that my "Hate Has No Home Here" sign be removed from the aisle where it was propped up against the leg of the chair, exactly as I had it displayed at our December 14th meeting without issue. They ordered that the sign, which Mr. Maris referred to as their literature, be removed and motioned for a police officer in the room to carry out the order. I quickly got up and moved it myself, visibly upset that this administration will speak up over a "Hate Has No Home Here" sign, but remain silent when the Proud Boys hate group attacks our community. When they showed up here to our December 14th council meeting flashing white power signs outside, when they entered these council chambers clapping for Tom Maris after he literally welcomed them here, when one of them got up on this very microphone and anonymously threatened, "We will continue to show up to these school board meetings and stand with each other in our club colors to make the statement that we will not have our children fed sexual degeneracy and the rewriting of history." When this Proud Boy went on to further attack our transgender community members, stating that trans garbage is perversion. When asked to denounce the Proud Boys and condemn this hateful attack, you all refused. When News 12 New Jersey reached out to Mayor John McCormick for a comment after this alarming assault, he refused. But he did not refuse to denounce Black Lives Matter, unbelievably calling our nation's largest racial justice movement awful. Of course the Proud Boys would target Woodbridge when they hear this from the mayor. This is the same terrorist hate group who horrifically burned Black Lives Matter signs on historical black churches in Washington, D.C. This is the same terrorist hate group who not only marched in, but helped organize the deadly Unite the Right white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. This is the same terrorist hate group who are being sued under the Ku Klux Klan Act for their role in the deadly January 6th white nationalist insurrection. This is the same terrorist hate group who think they have a home here in Woodbridge because our so-called leaders refuse to stand up for our community and tell them that they don't. And we sadly know why they won't. John McCormick made it perfectly clear 2 years ago when asked why he won't stand against racism in Woodbridge. "Because I'll piss off half my town. I have to get elected," he appallingly responded. In disbelief, I followed up with another question. "What about Dr. King, whose ceremony we were at just the other night?" "He can do whatever he wants," McCormick said, "but we should follow in his footsteps." "No, I'm not. It's not going to happen in Woodbridge." "But Woodbridge can do better." "We're not going to." "We have to do better." "We're not going to." I could share that recording as well if the mayor would like to break meeting decorum again and interrupt my time as he did at our October 19th meeting. Woodbridge deserves so much better, and we've seen so much better from countless communities of conscience whose leaders stood up to the Proud Boys and let them know that they're not welcome, that their hate has no home. On behalf of the NAACP Perth Amboy Area Branch, our community's oldest civil rights organization, we unequivocally denounce the Proud Boys and condemn their hateful attack on Woodbridge. Council President Bauer, the NAACP would like to ask you if you will please join us in denouncing the Proud Boys.
I have no comment at this time.
Can you please ask Mayor John McCormick if he will join the NAACP in denouncing the Proud Boys terrorist hate group?
This time we don't have a comment.
Can you ask the mayor? Can he speak for himself?
Mayor, do you have anything to say?
No comment.
Your frightening refusal to denounce this defined terrorist hate group and their disgustingly bigoted attack on our marginalized community members is immoral, inexcusable, and dangerous. Again, Woodbridge deserves so much better. Justice for Nigeria Parks, justice for Jeremiah Daniels Porter, Black Lives Matter, stop the KSB power plant. Hate has no home here.
Any other comments from the public? There are no other comment. Can I get a motion that the public comment portion be closed?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
This time we'll be going to our agendas. My agenda, number item 13, the Greenway Family Success Center, which is located at 537 New Brunswick Avenue in Fort, is a great family resource center. The Family Success Center is a community gathering place where families find fun, information, and support. Stop by the Greenway Family Success Center and learn more about their free educational workshops, family activities, in which you can use your talents to strengthen our community. Monthly activity calendars are located on their Facebook page, or you can call 732-738-3400 for more information. I have a few announcements. Today starts Black History Month. We celebrate Black History Month to recognize and celebrate the accomplishments of African Americans and their role in American history, and reflect on the struggles they have endured over the years. Today I reach out to Phil Hall of the Independent Club of Colonia, whose organization holds our annual Black History Month celebration in collaboration with Woodbridge Township. He stated at this time they are undecided if it's going to be an in-person or a virtual program. I will update the public once I get notification. The Human Rights Commission put together a display in the lobby of Town Hall here for Black History Month, which we are promoting and inviting folks to come to Town Hall to view. Councilwoman De Jesus has some more literature and programs for our Black History Month. One other thing, I just thank Director George Brew and your entire staff on a great job during our last snowstorm. Thanks to all our first responders and those essential employees who braved the elements to provide our emergency services to our residents. God bless them and God bless America. Council Vice President Vaccaro.
Thank you. Just a few items from the Community Center and the Recreation Department. Very popular roller skating lessons over at the Community Center. Spaces are limited. This is for roller or inline. I'll give you a number later, but you can check in with Allison Gabardi there. She's in charge of that. Also coming up on February 16th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. is a bagel and coffee seminar that is being sponsored by Aetna Healthcare to talk about insurance updates. Robert Wood Johnson will be there to talk about health and wellness issues. Again, that's February 16th, 11 to 1 p.m. in room 214, and you do have to register for that. You can do it in person or call there. Hopefully with the bagels and coffee, there'll be multi-grain bagels since it's a health project. On Monday, the 21st of this month, school is out for President's Weekend, and there are some special events going on for roller skating and ice skating on that day because the students are not in school. You can check the general number, the phone number to follow up on any of this at 732-596-4170. And the website that I mentioned each meeting is njwcc.com, New Jersey Woodbridge Community Center.com. Moving over to the Health Department and an update. We all know that some of the issues with the pandemic are starting to recede a little bit, and we're getting a little better. But last week, we had 148 doses, either first, second, or booster, that were distributed. To date, we've had 117 clinics. Upcoming clinics are this Thursday, although this meeting might be a little late to announce that, but from 3 to 6 p.m. adults this is clinics for adults, I'm sorry, and appointments are recommended. On February 8th, it's for ages 5 to 11, 4 to 6 p.m., and appointments are required. And then February 10th, adults 3 to 6, appointments are recommended. You can go to the township website and get all the information on that. Just some updates on the vaccine rate. ages 12 and up, 1 dose. 94% of our citizens in Woodbridge Township had 1 dose. Ages 12 and up, 2 doses, 82%. 65, 1 dose. We have, I don't know how this happens, but 105%. What does that mean? Somebody from out of town slipped?
Some people went twice.
And 65 and up, both doses, 82%, and 48% of our citizens have had all 3, which includes the booster. On a very exciting note, the township is in the process of purchasing a mobile health unit. This is a fully equipped medical unit that we plan to use in our senior buildings, senior housing, our schools, areas in the town that don't always have good access to health care. We can bring this vehicle on the road and take it to the people, as opposed to expecting people to come to where our services are. There's wellness and health prevention services. There's an examination room. There is a refrigerator for keeping medicine safe. There's a reception area. There will be the capability of having physicians on board along with nurses and support staff. Some of the items that we're looking to put forth in this is childhood-led testing, well baby exams, school-age vaccinations, and with adults, same thing, vaccinations and physicals, screenings for skin cancer, hypertension, blood glucose levels, and health education programs. But again, the key factor in this mobile unit is that we can take it to where people need it the most, and I think that's a outstanding initiative on behalf of our health department and our administration. Mr. Mitch, if you'd be so kind as to put that mobile health unit on my agenda, please, so I can keep an eye on that. And that's all I have. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilman Small.
Thank you, Council President Bauer. On my agenda, number 14, just a reminder, Mayor Max Cafe is open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., 881 West Avenue in Port Reading. Please stop by, have a late breakfast and early lunch. It's very enjoyable there. Number 16, concerts. I'm thinking summer. Don't hurt to think summer. I just received the Tuesday night lineup starting on June 21st, running through August 30th. Best of the Eagles, Journey Tribute, ELO Tribute, Paul McCartney and Wings Tribute, CCR Tribute, Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks Tribute, Ray Charles Tribute, Beatles Tribute, Chicago's Tribute, Dynamic Duels, and the Bruce Springsteen Tribute. So getting excited for our summer concerts, which are always a big success in Woodbridge Township. Number 19, American Irish Association. Very happy to announce the 48th annual St. Patrick's Parade is back. It will be held on March 13th at 1:30 p.m. Honorees this year are Charles Kenny, the Grand Marshal, Karen Devlin, Irish Lady of the Year, Jim Latham, Irish Man of the Year, Sarah Olex, Miss American Irish, and Victoria Gomez, Lady in Waiting. So looking forward to that parade. Number 20, the Woodbridge Elks received 2 grants. One is a $35 donation to the Domestic Violence Response Team, and one is $4,500 to the Woodbridge Food Bank. We thank the Elks. They do so much for this community, and we really appreciate it. Mayor, you're presenting checks soon? Will you present?
I think Sunday I'm receiving a check from them from the food drive for We Feed Woodbridge.
Okay, great. A couple of announcements. The snowstorm, Director Brew. Public Works, once again, did an amazing job. All the good residents out there that do the right thing and get their cars off the street and don't blow the snow into the street. Just makes it so much easier for our Public Works employees to do their job and do their job right. So again, kudos to your department. They all did a very great job. Yesterday, we attended the Mayor's State of the Township address. Once again, Mayor, great job. But at the end of the address, there was a tribute to former Councilwoman Nancy Drum. It was absolutely amazing. So Mr. Haggerty, Megan, and the staff, TV 35, great job. Really appreciate that. It's nice to hear that laugh again and see that smile. Other than that, God bless our police department. God bless the families of New York Police Department, Jason Rivera, Wilbert Moore, who were murdered last week in the city. God bless all our first responders, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeJesus.
Thank you, Council President. I got to say, I'm very excited about the mobile health clinic, and I'm booking it for my backpack drives and the Casby block party, please. Moving down to my agenda, item number 5, police community relations. I'm very honored that our Woodbridge Police Department will host a silent memorial vigil to honor officers killed in the line of duty this Thursday, February 3rd, 6 p.m. out here in Town Hall. Since the beginning of the year, the statistics are 28 police officers have been shot, 8 of them have been killed. So again, the silent memorial vigil will be Thursday, February 3rd at 6 p.m. here in Town Hall, and all are welcome. Moving down to item number 9, the Barron Art Center. We are celebrating Black History here in Woodbridge, and the Barron Art Center will have an exhibit that will run from February 18th through April 1st. It is Advocates of Social Change, Dr. Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi. This riveting exhibit of historic photographs shows the influence of Gandhi that Gandhi had on the civil rights icon Dr. Martin Luther King. Inspired by the Gandhian method of Satyagraha or truth force, Dr. King utilized nonviolence as a powerful weapon towards social equality. Comparative images of Gandhi and Dr. King influential 1959 trip to India will be shown, as well as important writings and quotes from both human rights icons. This exhibit was organized and curated by Mukesh Kashiwala, and it is supported by Royal Albert's Palace and the Indian American Community of North American. And again, the exhibit will run from February 18th through April 1st at the Barron Art Center. You can call 732-634-0413 for more information. Item number 10, the Free Public Library of Woodbridge. We were just notified this afternoon by the State Department of Labor that they were awarded the Libraries and Adult Literacy and Career Pathways Grant in the amount of $55,000. This will allow the library to offer a series of literacy, ESL, and digital literacy classes to our residents. So congratulations to our Woodbridge Public Libraries in getting that grant. This Thursday, February 3rd at 7 p.m., the library will host a program for anyone with college debt. It will be Everything You Need to Know About the Public Service Loan Forgiveness. Again, that will be this Thursday at 7 p.m. Black History Month programs, in addition to art and book displays at the Woodbridge Public Library, include an American Labor Museum presentation of the extraordinary life of New Jersey's Paul Robinson on Tuesday, February 8th at 3:30 p.m. and on Thursday, February 17th at 7 p.m. The library has scheduled also a monthly series of in-person computer and Microsoft Office skills classes. For any information regarding the library programs, again, call 732-634-4450. Item number 13, girls' sports. Thursday's a busy day in Woodbridge Township. Thursday, all of our basketball teams, the girls' basketball programs, Colonia, John F. Kennedy Memorial High School, and Woodbridge High School, will participate in the second annual Lead Her Forward basketball games. Again, it is this Thursday, and they begin at 5 p.m. You have Colonia versus Woodbridge. The JV is at 5, varsity is at 6:30, and JFK will verse another school at JFK. Again, I'm a big supporter of girls' sports, and I'm a big advocate for us to support girls' sports. So this Friday is Lead Her Forward basketball games here in town. We have Colonia versus Woodbridge at 6:30 p.m. for varsity. So anyone that is looking for something to do, you could come to the vigil and then head over to the basketball game. And that is all that I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilman Spiller.
Thank you, Council President Bauer. Item number 6, Sycamore Senior Center. Happy to report that the center now, membership is over 600. If you're over 60 and a township resident and interested in joining and taking part in all the great activities and events that they have there, please call 732-726-6272 and ask for Sandra. And as always, Stowe Senior Transportation of Woodbridge is always available for our seniors to be driven to and from. Item number 7, please
Route 1 redevelopment, pleased to announce that Buckaboo Burritos and Smoothie King have signed on to take 2 of the 3 storefronts at 906 Route 1, which is the vacant home of the former Butts Up property. Tenant fit-out should be starting shortly, and look for a early spring opening. A new pavement, landscaping, and lighting, along with 2 new buildings, really enhance that area. This continues with our vision and focus on redeveloping the Route 1 corridor. Item number 9, the Avenue VFW asked me real quick to announce that they're having their Italian night held on Saturday, February 26th, starting at 5 p.m. Please come out and support while enjoying an Italian dinner. Avenue VFW is located at 60 West Park Avenue. That's the rest of my agenda is order. Council President, thank you. I should say thank you to all our emergency responders, fire, EMS, our Woodbridge Police Department, CERT, and all of our public works and township employees. God bless America. Thank you, Council President Bauer.
Thank you. Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. Going down to number 4 on my agenda, Have a Heart Food Drive. On Saturday, February 12th, myself along with Colonia Middle School students will be holding our 2nd annual Colonia Has a Heart Food Drive at the Evergreen Center on Inman Avenue, Colonia from 10 to 2. We're challenging the town of Colonia to help us collect 214 pounds of food to be donated to the Woodbridge Township Have a Heart Food Drive, who's asking residents and businesses to donate 214 pounds of food or $214 to help out our food pantries during the winter months. The drive will take place until February 14, which is Valentine's Day. Food can be dropped off at the Woodbridge Health Center, or monetary donations can be made out to We Feed and be mailed to Woodbridge Township Health Department at 600 Main Street in Woodbridge. On a side note, that same day, the Girl Scouts will be selling their cookies, so come out and support the girls too. Going down to 9, veterans issues. On February 25th, from 5:30 to 7:30, Colonia VFW on Inman Avenue will be holding their annual fish drive. Dinners are $17 per person, $16 per senior, and $9 for children. All the money that they raise that evening will go to help our veterans. So come out and have a great meal and help support our veterans. And just thank you to George Brew and the DPW workers for digging us out over the storm this past week. And as always, you did a fantastic job. And the residents really do appreciate all you do for them. And thank you to all our first responders who have been braving the cold weather to keep Woodbridge Township safe. Yours has not been an easy job, and we thank you for that. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Patel.
Thank you, Council President. I have a few announcements. On last Friday, January 28, at about 5:15 p.m., right before that big snowstorm about to start, there was a fire call at the Cooper's Towers in Islin, and I was there and I have witnessed. There were about 15 or so fire trucks and emergency vehicles responded. I would like to thank to our fire department officials and the EMS team members for their prompt response. It was a wrong fire alarm, and it was so nice to learn from them that there were nobody injured. I also would like to thank to our Director Brew and the Department of Public Works for keeping the streets clean during the last winter storm cleanup. They have done a great job in plowing and salting the street throughout the township. There is going to be a Winter Wonderland Luncheon on this Friday, February 4th, from 12 noon till 3 p.m. at the 5 Branches Senior Center, which is located at 1 Brown Avenue in Islin. Please make a check payable to Woodbridge Township. Also, there is going to be a Happy Heart Luncheon on this Wednesday, February 16th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Oak Tree Senior Center, which is located at 571 Lincoln Highway in Islin. You must RSVP by February 14, calling at 732-259-2008. Also, luncheon ticket will be paid by check only, payable to Woodbridge Township. Since our Valentine's Day is coming in 2 weeks, I would like to wish you all happy Valentine's Day. That's all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman McCullough.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order, and I'd just like to make a couple announcements. First, we have a new steakhouse opening on Main Street, Shinko Hibachi Steakhouse. That'll be opening soon, so everyone should check that out. And also, there have been new pedestrian flashing light crosswalk installed at the corner of Pearl and Green Street, across from Costello's Funeral Home, to assist with people going from the train station across the street as well as going to the funeral home, and that is fully operational at this time. Lastly, I'd like to thank all the directors for taking time out of their already full schedules to provide me with an overview of each one of their departments and how everything's going in the town, and it was a very enlightening experience. Thank you very much for your time. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Anderson's excused tonight by two announcements regarding Black History Month that I forgot to read during my agenda announcement. In addition to social media campaign, Woodbridge Township has built a website page centralizing Black History Month. We will continue to update the page as we get more information. Secondly, we are putting together a comprehensive township-wide Black Lives Matter program to include stepping up the annual Martin Luther King Student Essay Contest with an event hosted by the Human Rights Commission at the Acacia Center on Tuesday, February 22nd at 6 p.m. We are inviting the essayists, families, principals, and teachers from each of the elementary schools, along with the school board, district administration, and our council. We'll seat the essayists on the stage, and each will be introduced and presented with their certificate of achievement. The district winner will read the winning essay that night. That's all I have from Councilman Anderson.
Council President?
Yes.
10 seconds, please. Director Brew, I forgot to mention, we talked about cleaning up the roads, everyone. I witnessed myself, Public Works folks with shovels, shoveling the sidewalk over the Fulton Street Bridge, because that's a way to connect that whole area of town up in Strawberry Hill, safely getting over the bridge. Because if they don't clean those sidewalks, students going to school have to stand, walk in the street. So again, thank you very much, not only for the standard things you do, but for the special things that your department does. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Mr. Mitch.
Thank you, Mr. President. My agenda is in order. Just a reminder, we're going to retire into executive session immediately following administration's agenda, and at that time, I'll ask the public to please exit the room. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Hubner.
Nothing this evening. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Director Garden.
Thank you, Council President. It's just standing by and free response. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Brew.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order.
Thank you. Business Administrator Zimmerman.
Thank you, Council President. For next week, our next meeting, I'll have a parking agreement. I'll have an architectural proposal for Henry Inman Library from TVC, and I'll have a purchase of a new Western Star 47X axle hook lift truck. Thank you, Council President.
Mayor McCormick.
Thank you, Council President. All good here.
Thank you. Legal.
Nothing this evening, Council President.
Thank you.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 31, Article 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from meetings in certain circumstances, whereas this body is of the opinion that these circumstances exist, and therefore be resolved by the Municipal Council of the Township of Woodbridge that the public portion of this meeting is hereby recessed for approximately 20 to 30 minutes to discuss collective bargaining units and contract negotiations. I get a motion to move Resolution 13.
Motion. Second.
Questions? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. This time, I'm going to ask the public to please exit the room so we can retire to executive session. Mr. President, I'd like to call the meeting back to order. In front of you, you have a resolution. I'm going to ask to have it moved tonight. This is to execute memorandums of understanding between the two our bargaining units, PBA Local 38 and the United Steelworkers Local 142602. I get a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council?
Mr. Mitch, I'm going to have to abstain from the PBA one.
Any other comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Second.